Good evening, everyone. Welcome to beautiful downtown Grand Forks. This is Grand Forks City Council's Committee of the Whole for Monday, February 24th. Under item 1, call to order. 1.1, welcome and roll call.
Weigel. Sosky.
Here.
Berg.
Here.
Lunsky. Friedels. President Sandy.
Here.
And Veen. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Under informational items, 2.1, legislative update. Mr. Burnstrom, good evening.
Good evening, Council President Sandy, members of the council. So just so you guys are aware, the North Dakota legislature it's almost like a football game. They're almost to halftime and they take a break. So we're just wrapping up the first half. They want to wrap up by Wednesday. That's what they say. They have a lot of work to do. That would mean they've been in session for 35 days, so they would have 45 days in the second half to get their work done. So with that, we are not going to have a legislative committee meeting on Friday. But I will give an update next Monday with, for better term, a first half report. So just a couple of things. House Bill 1537, the water agreements bill. Dan, you gave an update on that one last week. That one passed the House floor this morning. And so as we say, each one of these bills is a vehicle, right? That vehicle is still out there. Hopefully, maybe we can get some amendments on the Senate side. Senate Bill 2012 is the North Dakota DOT, the transportation budget. That one passed the Senate floor this morning as well. It has $161 million for the flexible transportation fund that we've used in the past. 2254 is the fixed route funding for public transportation. That one started with a $15 million grant, got amended down to a $5 million grant, and is now down to a $2 million grant. But the study's still in it as far as future fund, figuring out how the state can handle their side of the funding with public transit. House Bill 1332, the ag facility bill, that one got through appropriations unanimously. I was kind of surprised by that there was no votes. Still does not, hasn't been voted on the floor yet. They're down to 2 days, so it's either going to be tomorrow or Wednesday. The property tax bill, House Bill 1176, that one passed appropriations Friday night at about 7 o'clock. There's been many amendments to the bill, taking stuff out, putting stuff back in. The bill has a primary residence tax credit. The bill has the funding mechanism to handle that moving forward. The bill has a 3% cap. Marina, if you had a chance to take a look, did they put the income tax? That one's out of it, I believe. They took the income tax out of that bill.
You know, I was having a hard time finding the latest version, and it's a very long bill, but I do not believe it has the income tax component in there anymore.
I was reading through it. It's a 40-page bill, so it was going through that. That one, again, got through appropriations Friday evening. House Bill 1020, the water resources budget, that one got through appropriations, has not been voted on the House floor yet, but that bill does have a line item, $260 million for Red River Valley water supply, and $25 million for municipal water grants. That municipal water grant started at $40 million, went down to 20, is now up to 25. There's some big rural projects that are going on, so that's the rural portion of that is at 80, but municipal is at 25. And then we're also taking a look at the Department of Public Instruction, their bill, which is House Bill 1013. Another long bill, lots of items in it. But one item that we're paying attention to is that has a line item for the Children's Museum in it for $5 million. So we're paying attention to that. Yes, by Wednesday, we should be through the first half. And next week, I'll give an update based on our priorities, where we stand. And with that, I'm open to any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Burnstrom. Questions for John? Anyone? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burnstrom, appreciate it. Is the audio working tonight?
Yes.
That's-
Sorry about.
No, that's great.
I couldn't
Appreciate
stop
it.
the meeting last week.
I get it. Item 3.1, or discussion items 3, discussion items 3.1, purchase of 575 and 595 North Washington Street. Chief Lorenz.
Good evening, President Sandy, members of the council. This started last December when I was meeting with Todd, and after, if everyone recalls, we were attempting to move the fire marshals along with the health department over to the building across the street here, which ultimately didn't come to fruition. And then the property next door to the fire station 1 had been for sale for a little while, and so I started the conversation about how this might be a solution for some of our space needs. And then even as importantly, the strategic location of this property. There's 2 lots ultimately that are for sale there, as you see in the staff report. And at some point in the future, when that is, we don't know, there may be a need to redo that intersection, and having that property there could be I believe, a very big advantage for the city. And so we proceeded forward, looking at the property, and as you see in the brochure there, it has office space, it's got a garage, and for our fire prevention division, community risk reduction, it can actually fit our need right now with really not having to do any modifications to the building. The office space meets our needs, and more importantly, it gives us a space to meet the public. Right now, because of the space limitations at Station 1, it's hard for the marshals to meet with architects, developers, contractors, because it's just not conducive with the area that we have. This provides that space. And more importantly, it provides us some space to actually grow. Station 1 was built in 1979. At that time, there was 2 people in the fire marshal's office. In 1994, that number went to 3. And they're all working out of one corner office, though, for those that have been in the building have seen that. And then when we have folks on modified duty for various reasons, they're also sharing that space with 1 desk in there. So we ultimately have 4 people in that one office. And then the conference room actually works, our intern works out of there, people on modified duty, and we have plan review that happens in there, plus our meetings that we have with staff and other people. So it really does get congested. Over the last 50 years, there's been modifications to the building, but it's always been within the walls that were built originally back in 1975. And so there's just really inside that space nowhere to make those accommodations to add extra room anymore. And so without doing an addition onto the building, which also is very costly, with the space utilization study that we did this past fall and winter, this really presents itself as an affordable option to meet a couple needs. The strategic location of that lot, plus gives us some room to breathe in the building that we currently have, and allows them to meet with people from the public in a space that isn't so crowded. Also on those 2 properties, as it stated in the staff report, there are 3 billboards that belong to that property that it initiated with a 50-year lease. In 2025, those 3 signs, the income was $14,200 approximately. And if you look at the number in one of the attachments, over the next 28 years that's left on that lease, it has the potential to bring in approximately $600,000, which would be kind of a significant payback for that lot over the time. And with that, I stand for any questions.
Questions for Chief Lorenz?
I move approval.
Moved
I'll
by
second.
Wasowski, second by Berg. Chief, quick question. So there, if I recall correctly, there are 2 offices in there and a conference room, plus there's like a not a full kitchen, but a nice break room and bathroom with shower, right? So are you going to have two desks in each office, is that correct?
There's actually 3 offices and a small conference room. As I was going on talking about the space we have in there, and that's what's nice about this, we haven't had a person since 1994, and this would give us the ability to add somebody to that office, which we kind of really need. And now we'd actually have the space. So right now we'd utilize the 3 marshals would go over there for the 3 offices, and then our small conference room we could convert to another office because there's a large center area. You walk in the west door, there's a big open area in the middle that we plan to put cubicles for our intern and people on modified duty. We could actually move our conference room out into that space as well and make that 4th office for a 4th marshal in the future.
I'm not excited about buying a building so that you can add more employees.
Well, it gives us the room when we need to, and I understand that.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions, comments? There's a motion and a second on the floor.
I guess I have a
Yes,
quick question.
Ms. Wasowski?
Is there anything else in that building? Is there like an open shop or?
President Sandy, Council Member Osowski, yes, there is a large garage space that's all
Okay.
heated and finished. We plan to move 4 vehicles out of our current space into there initially.
Okay, and we own this little chunk of property in between the fire?
I believe that's an
correct?
easement more than likely, and so I don't know that we will ever own that particular little stretch, but we'd own everything on either side of it.
Oh, okay,
It's a utility easement.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
3.2, declare health department's vehicle surplus. Anybody want to?
I move approval.
Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. For any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 3.3, create district project 8933, District 792, Altru Sports Complex paving, storm sewer, and site work. Mr. Lieberman, good evening.
Good evening, Council President Sandy, members of the committee. As of the last update that city staff provided to council about the Altru Sports Complex, you may recall JLG is in the process of the detailed design, and they're scheduled to present that to the city, the 100% DD, later this week. That package, that procurement package is for what we call GMP 1, which includes a portion of the facility and all of the site work. Site work being paving, utilities, stormwater pond, earthwork, landscaping.
Mr. Lieberman, for those who don't know, GMP is guaranteed maximum price.
That's correct.
Thank you.
That's correct. So that first procurement package includes all of the utilities, paving, and site work. As part of the city's strategy for how we're going to pay for that site work, which the estimate for that is currently $11.8 million, all in. That strategy includes a combination of some of the cash funds, the enterprise funds, such as water, wastewater, stormwater, streets and infrastructure. And it also includes a portion that will be special assessed, or we'd like to special assess. Specifically, the paving, the storm sewer, street lighting, earthwork, and landscaping, which totals $8.7 million. City would like to special assess that. So tonight, we are requesting to approve the engineer's report for $8.7 million and create a special assessment district that corresponds to the development site. You'll see that in the staff report. The boundaries of that are the site that we've been discussing for a good year now. But with that, we're recommending approval and creation of that district, pending your questions.
Questions for Mr. Lieberman? Yes, Ms. Linsky.
So who will own the turf facility?
City of Grand Forks.
City of Grand
So
Forks.
are we special assessing ourselves?
We are. So North Dakota Century Code, in order to sell that bond and special assess ourselves, we still have to go through these same procedures and determine that, who benefits from this infrastructure that we're going to be building. We believe only the site, which all of the lots within that site are owned by City of Grand Forks.
And then, so some of the roads, I assume, could benefit future developments also, or not?
This is primarily the internal drive lane and parking lot structure. So we've looked at this. It benefits the Altru Sports Complex, the Hugo's Raceway, the lot that's being considered for the Children's Museum, and the Stormwater Pond lot, those 4 lots only.
So the special assessments would be divided, well, not equally, but divided between those 4?
It would. The Special Assessment Commission would determine the benefits between those lots, but yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Osowski.
I guess my first question is the racetrack and the Children's Museum exempt from the special assessment?
I don't believe exempt is the right word. Whether or not they're determined to benefit from this infrastructure, the Special Assessment Commission would determine what their benefit would be.
I mean, I guess if we're putting in water, parking, drainage, and bathrooms, that you would think that, the racetrack would benefit from that also. And in this little section, is this where the Children's Museum is going to go?
It appears so, yes.
So I guess I'm wondering why both of those aren't included in the special assessment, the Children's Museum and the racetrack, when obviously they will benefit from it. So,
If you look at the proposed district map in the staff report, it does include those two lots. There's actually two lines. The dashed line represents the site work of what we're building or constructing.
Okay.
The solid line is the actual district boundary. So they're within the district, even though we're not doing any construction on their lot.
And Council President Sandy, if I could help, Councilmember Osowski. So even though we're setting up the special assessment district because we're going to finance some of these improvements, and so they're in the district. However, the city has agreed to pay for all of the support infrastructure, whether that's for the Hugo's Raceway, the Ultra Sports Complex, or the Children's Museum, as part of co-locating all three of these entities. So when we look at the funding sources, really, we're assessing our various city funds to pay for all the various support infrastructures. And so that's in benefit to the Hugo's Raceway, who are not going to get assessed per se. The Children's Museum will not get assessed for the various, improvements that we're going to make to help support their building, to include the Ultra Sports Complex.
okay, but we are putting in infrastructure for both of those, correct?
We are, yep. The water, sewer, storm, paving, the street, 17th Wall help serve all three of those facilities. We are assessing those improvements, but we're assessing them to ourselves in the various noted funds that are on the report.
All right. Last slide in this slideshow. It states that the $4.4 million is going to come out of our sales tax. Is that sales tax? How are we going to pay for a building and then pay back this $4.5 million with that same amount of sales tax?
Ms. Storsted?
Yeah, so President Sandy, Councilperson Osowski, I can help with that slide. So it's very similar to what we've shown in the past. It's still roughly that 11 to 12 million and broken out in the funding sources there. So how we have this split is that we would special assess ourselves as they've referred to over, a 25-year period. And then the portion that's related directly for the Ultra Sports Complex facility uses that 0.75% sales tax, the part of the parking, landscaping, what's listed there is special assessed to our Economic Development Sales Tax Fund, which is 2163. So it's broken out by those portions with those other, as has been stated, with cash up front for those other funds. But the specialist, if you look at the engineer's report, his 8.7 million it's those two chunks there, the 4.467 and the 4.238. That's the district that we're setting up for the special assessment portion of the 11.8 million.
Thank you. I guess the last presentation that we received on this center is still over budget. I disagree with pulling out of all this funding and then basically special assessing ourselves for over $8 million on, we have to pay that back to ourselves somehow. I will not move forward with this project until we are presented something that fits within our budget. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Osowski. Further comment? Ms. Storsted, you've got some sort of a master plan
Yeah,
for
so-
the sales tax dollars. So side note, this 11.8 million, whether it was 11 or 12 million, we've been talking about this and how
Right.
it's going to be spent for the infrastructure since the beginning of this project. So this is not new to me.
No.
What is new to me is the actual breakout by fund.
President Sandy, Councilperson Osowski, so what we've shown you in the past, the site infrastructure has always been separate from the $110 million budget. You've actually seen this slide in a previous presentation, only it showed 11.7 million total with the breakout. So it's part of the plan that we've built to bring infrastructure to that area for the various projects. And then separate is the plan to support the 100 million borrowing and 10 million cash for the actual facility.
So you have always planned on using $4.5 million from the sales tax to pay for this?
Yeah, you know,
Part of this.
the dollars have, I don't remember the exact breakout. In total, it was 11.8, but we have been including that share that benefits the facility would come from the 3/4% sales tax in that common area, and what benefits the other portions to come from the economic development sales tax, with the other water, storm, pond coming from those corresponding utility funds.
Sure, but I'm just concerned about our sales tax, because that sales tax has to go to repay the bonds. Now it's going to be paying the special assessments, plus it has to cover the Alara Center.
Correct.
Plus maintenance of this facility as well.
Yeah.
And so when we did the budget for this year and for the Alara Center and long-term planning, that number's always been there, or approximately?
Approximately correct. So what
Okay.
we've got, and I believe we're conservative on this, President Sandy, so, you know, the annual payments, they start higher and then they go down as the principal's paid, you know, starting at roughly 400,000 and then going down to about 180,000 is your annual payment on these special assessments. That's been baked into our projections, as well as setting aside money for capital reserve for both the facilities and the debt.
Okay, thank you. Further comments, or are we going to approve the special assessment plan? Or are we going to?
I'll motion to approve.
Moved by Berg, second by Lunsky, thank you. Further comment? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion passes. Osowski dissents. Thank you. Good discussion. 3.4, we're going to create a district for Project 8927, a reconstruction and CPR of 24th Avenue South from 29th Street to South 34th Street. Good evening.
Thank you, President Sandy, members of the committee. This project before you tonight consists of reconstructing and rehabilitating the existing pavement on 24th Avenue South from South 29th Street to South 34th Street.
That section of 24th Avenue South is terrible.
Yes, engineering has identified that as a pretty poor ride quality, a lot of defects in that stretch. So because of that, we've got a variety of techniques we're going to propose here to remedy that, including a section of reconstruction, a section of panel replacement, and concrete grinding. So this will give us a good ride quality and a better value than if we were to do a full reconstruction of that section. The total construction cost for the project is currently estimated at $1.91 million. A portion of this project will be funded with a city share. Current city policy is to fund 80% of the cost for reconstruction and rehab of.
Great. Mr. McGuire, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Berg. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Good presentation. Item 3.5, bid award project 8844, District 608, 8845, District 360, and 8846, District 609, 8847, District 787, sanitary sewer, water main, storm sewer, paving, streetlights for Opportunity Park Second. Mr. Lieberman.
Good evening again, President Sandy and committee members. This is work in the Opportunity Park re-subdivision. We opened bids on this last Thursday and had a very good bidding environment. We had 7 bidders, which is great to see. Interest from Fargo and outside local.
And this requested infrastructure is by the landowner, correct?
This is requested by the developer who owns
Right.
a portion of the land, yes.
Yep.
Yes. So we are recommending a bid award to United Crane, the low bidder, in the amount of $3,690,354.34.
Which was a very good bid.
It was 11% under our
Under.
engineer's estimate, and we're very pleased to see the, getting a better price on that. The one caveat on the staff report is I'm requesting bid award contingent upon receiving the developer's letter of credit. City code requires the developer have some financial participation in this. We have not yet received that, but we're corresponding with them, and we hope to have that before council meeting
Council
next
on
week.
Monday night, very good. Is there thoughts? Moved by
I move approval.
Wasowski. Second by Lunsky, thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously, thank you. Item 3, thank you, Mr. Lieberman. Item 3.6, bid award for project 8916, District 611, UND Pond outfall on North 25th Street from 2nd Avenue North to University. Good evening. Ms.
Good
Bremer?
evening. Good evening, President Sandy, members of the council. This project, we opened for bids on February 20th. We received 6 bids total. The low bid was $124,411 from Molstead Excavating. And that bid was approximately 17% under our engineer's estimate. So we are recommending award of the contract to Molstead Excavating in the amount of $124,411.
I move approval.
Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. Further comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Mr. Danielson, we're going to bid award for project 8876, 2025 inlet protection services that we do every single year.
I move approval.
Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, Ms. Lunsky.
How much under estimate was it?
30%.
Okay, 30?
Yeah, we ended up having to switch bags halfway through the bid to a slightly less expensive bag, which is probably why the prices went down a little bit, but it's still a bag we're comfortable with, so that kind of explains the reduction on this one.
Thank you.
Saving money everywhere.
So mosquito control needs to be 40?
Yeah, I hope so. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Bid award for project 2025-6, mosquito control chemicals. Ms. Botnan, good evening.
Good evening, President Sandy, members of the committee. I have a couple mosquito control items for you this evening, but if you'll allow me, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Eric Nelson. He's our mosquito control supervisor, and he's been with the city, it'll be, 21 years in April. And he's been a great asset to me as we've worked through this transition, so I just wanted you to all be able to meet him and see his face this
Mr.
evening.
Nelson, your first trip to a city council meeting?
Yes, it is.
Well, welcome. Hopefully, we'll see you some other time with good news about how there are no mosquitoes and we're under budget.
Doing a great job right now.
That's right. So
it's
far,
not
so
any right
good.
now, so
That's right.
everything's going smoothly, so.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to meet Mr. Nelson this evening. So we have the chemical bids before you this evening. The adulticide bids are just a standard price from the manufacturer, so all the bidders were similar. And the larvicides, we'd ask you to award to the bolded items.
Sure. Is there
I move approval. I have a comment, though.
Osowski? Second by Berg. Comment?
I guess
Mr.
my
Osowski?
comment is
Don't drink the stagnant water that's filled with chemicals to kill the mosquitoes?
that's a comment that would probably come out of my mouth, but no, that wasn't going to be my comment. I'm almost nervous to Google what these type of chemicals do to us that we spray in the air, but I also understand that there are health risks that come with mosquitoes, and I don't enjoy being bit up by mosquitoes. Just make sure that when, the city is out spraying, that you keep your pets and yourself inside and maybe kind of let it air out a little bit. But I think you guys do a really great job every summer, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. 3-9 bid award 2025-5 mosquito control vehicles.
Yes, we went out for bid for a full-size vehicle. That was been in our budget this year for another full-size vehicle. And last fall, we had an accident on one of our mid-size spraying vehicles. We have received insurance reimbursement for that, and we went out for bid for that vehicle as well. We did receive 2 companies that put in for bids. One of the companies bid on 3 different types of vehicles, and none of those vehicles unfortunately met spec. 2 of the vehicles that we received out of Ohio dealership did receive spec, and we did find out that dealership has also provided vehicles for our police department, so it's not an unfamiliar vendor to us.
Great. Moved by Osowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm motion approval, but I have a question. How many
Second by
vehicles do we have? 10 pickups? Okay, perfect, thank you.
We're, what, 850 miles of roads in the city of Grand Forks, so there's a lot of area to cover when you're out spraying.
Yep.
Something like that. I don't know, it's a lot. Yeah. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, for being here tonight. 310, material purchase, city project 8928, upgrade lift stations 21 and 33. We're buying valves and pumps, which I think everyone wants to
move
keep the
approval.
sewage moving, but there is, first part is consideration of waiving time limit for opening a bid from Water Technology Resources. It's in the description, but isn't mentioned anywhere else in the staff report.
Oh, I was going to talk about it. So the bids were due at 11 o'clock on Thursday, and this one was received on Friday. But it was a FedEx issue, I guess, is what it says on there. I think Maureen has that. So I brought it to council in case you guys wanted to open it. It's technically late, but it was a FedEx issue, so we felt it was best, it was your decision.
Yes, President Sandy, members of council. So in speaking with staff and finance and the records that we have, it was not at the fault of the bidder that this came in late. It was FedExed overnight to be received by 11 a.m. on that Thursday, the day the bids were due, but it came to us, it was delivered on Friday, the 21st. So it would be a waivable feature if you would allow us to open that. We would open up the bid tonight, if so allowed.
Yes, question, Ms. Osowski.
How long did they have to submit our bid to us? Like, what was the time frame?
It was advertised for 3 weeks, I think. Yeah,
For 3
3
weeks?
weeks. And I think they sent it on Tuesday. I think the tracking showed. Maybe that Sherry said. It came from Minneapolis.
Correct. Looks like it was sent on the 19th.
What day was that? Mr. Gosted, what's your opinion?
Staff actually called our office, and we concluded it is something it's waivable, if the council so decides to do so. Given these set of circumstances where it's nobody's fault, it's not the bidder's fault. I file things on the day they're due to, and sometimes it happens.
Ms. Berg?
I would motion to open it, because if there's an opportunity for us to save money, I would absolutely love that.
Great. Motion by Berg, second by Linsky. Further comments? All those in favor of opening the bid? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll open the bid.
All right, I will open this now, and then Carmen, you'll follow up
Yep.
and update for next Monday?
Yeah, I can update the bid tab prior to next Monday if it's low.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, we need to keep the sewage flowing. So is there a motion and a second
I
to
move approval.
buy the valves and pumps? Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you,
And
Mr. Sampson. Yes?
President Sandy,
Oh,
just
yeah.
for the record, I'll
Bushwhacker.
just read off, if you don't mind, who the bid is from and what it came in at, because we have to open this publicly.
Certainly.
So this comes from Water Technology Resources. They bid on a 10-inch knife valve with hand wheel, unit price $3,490, delivery date 8 to 10 weeks, bid a quantity of 3 for total price of $10,470. They bid 12-inch night valve with hand wheel, unit price $7,980, quantity of 3 for a total price $23,940 with 8 to 10 week delivery date. A 6-inch swing flex check valve, unit price $3,990, quantity of 6 for a total price of $23,940, 8 to 10 weeks delivery date. And lastly, a 8-inch knife valve with hand wheel, unit price $2,950, quantity of 6 for total $17,700, 8 to 10 week delivery date. I think that covers it. And Carmen, you'll follow up with the bid tab.
Yep, I'll update the bid tab.
Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. Anyone have any questions on those numbers? Great. Moving right along. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Newshire. Yes. Newshwander. Thank you. I'll get it one of these days. Item 311, HVAC lower system improvements at raw water intake building, project 8941. Anyone interested in making sure that the raw water intake continues to work
move
properly?
approval.
Thank you. Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. Further comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Great. Maintenance agreement for Turblix blowers, wastewater treatment plant, project number 8952. Anything fun you want to discuss tonight?
This one's kind of, I mean, it's good news. It's quite a bit lower. It's about half of what the other RFQ that we got that we currently use is Howden. They were Lone Star Turbo. We never worked with them before. So I called around and I heard good things, and they're about 40% cheaper than our current contract, so.
Great.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by
I
Linsky,
second.
second by Osowski. Very good. Further comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much. 313, last but not least, Red River Valley Water Supply Project Agreement, Interim Financing Agreement, Series E Modification. Mr. Costed.
Yes, thank you, Council President Sandy and members of the committee. These were changes that, in my view, are already embedded within the agreement. It didn't change substantively any obligations, but it made the bond council happier. These were requests by the bond council.
Any comments or concerns about the requests of changes from the bond council? Okay.
I'll motion to approve.
Moved by Berg, second by Osowski. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. My computer won't update, but I know there's 314.
There is.
The addition of
Yep. It's,
changes to the planning and zoning makeup.
that is. We have it as Planning and Zoning Commission adding a Grand Forks Air Force Base representative.
Thank you, Mr. Phelan. Is anyone interested in presenting on that, or should we just have a general discussion about it tonight? Yeah, Mr. Costed.
Yeah, we've looked at the, this is an ex officio member, and through our home rule charter, we can establish who, the membership of committees, so we'd be allowed to add this ex officio member. I think the process, as I understand it from Mr. Brooks, was to direct this to planning and zoning to begin with, and I think that's what the motion would be directed at, is having this reviewed by planning and zoning and then have it come back through that process back to the council eventually.
Yep. I think generally speaking, my hope is that by adding the wing commander or the base commander, whomever it is, or his or her designee to our Planning and Zoning Commission could help us head off any potential issues relating to developments in and around the community that might interfere with the future base missions. I know that Grand Forks County has this item on their agenda for tomorrow evening. They're going to take up the same concept of having this person as part of the County Planning and Zoning Commission as well. By doing that, perhaps Bill, whatever it is, 2398 or whichever that they were talking about, I would think it would become unnecessary if we actually put people on our commission. So is there a further comment, or are people willing to move this to planning and zoning for further discussion? Yes,
I
Mrs.
motion,
Sussman.
we move it to planning and zoning for future discussion, but I do have a question.
Sure, there's a motion by Osowski. Is there a second by Lunsky? Thank you. Yep, Ms. Osowski.
I do support us putting someone from the Air Force Base representative on this committee, but how many people are on there currently? Are there 9? Is the attachment that's on here, is this what it currently says?
Mr.
Correct?
Brooks?
Thank you, President Sandy, Councilperson Osowski. There are 9 that are on planning and zoning,
Okay.
and 2, this would take it to 2 ex officio non-voting members, a city engineer, and then this position would be the second one.
Oh, they're going to be non-voting?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. That makes it easier for me to
Yeah,
understand. Thank you.
it'll be informational for them. They'll be aware of what's going on in the community. It provides, and they can still speak at the meetings. They just don't vote.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, great. Further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much. Items for the good of the order. Ms. Osowski, anything to add this evening?
No, sir, not tonight.
Ms. Berg?
No, thank you.
Ms. Lunsky? Okay, everyone have a good evening. Thanks for being here. Is there a motion to
move
adjourn?
adjournment.
Moved by Osowski, second by Berg. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.